Member of former President Donald Trump's transition team, 2020 presidential candidate, former Hawaii Congresswoman, and U.S. Army Reserve officer, Tulsi Gabbard joins me. Nice to see you.
Good to see you, Greta.
All right, I've been reading about you in the past couple of weeks, and one of the things I've read, are you on some terror watch list or something?
You know, this is, I'm glad you brought this up. The short answer is yes. How this came about, to make a long story short, is political retaliation. The very next day after I criticized Kamala Harris's policies and pointed out to the American people how dangerous she would be as President Commander-in-Chief, I was put on this secret domestic terror watch list called Quiet Skies. And the only way I know about this is two things. One is every time I travel, and I'm on a lot of planes every single week, I have been basically put through in-depth searches, the quad Fs on my boarding pass, increased security, and federal air marshals traveling on every flight that I'm on. And the reason I know this is because federal air marshal whistleblowers came forward because they were so disgusted by the abuse of power and the politicization of them. They saw this clearly for what it is, an act of political retaliation. And it is just the tip of the iceberg of what we know Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have been doing and what Kamala Harris will continue to do to try to silence her critics and send a message: don't cross me, don't challenge my authority. If you do, there will be consequences.
Well, I've gotten that Quad S coming into the country, but never domestically, and only one time, but where the 4S along your boarding pass, which means that you're going to get an MRI practically. All right, but okay, have you tried to get off the Quiet Skies list? Because, you know, I mean, whenever you get on those lists, it's a nightmare.
This is the conundrum and the ridiculousness of these secret terror watch lists. Quiet Skies is just one of them. Most people have never heard of it. They don't tell you if you're on it. The only reason I know for sure is because the Air Marshal whistleblowers came forward and actually presented direct evidence of what they were exposing to be true. But like every other list and surveillance program that our government has that is being used against law-abiding Americans in violation of our Fourth Amendment rights, our civil liberties, they don't tell you you're on the list. They don't tell you how to get off the list. They have not even shared this list with Congress yet, even though they've been asked many times. So if you know the secret, please let me know.
Well, I hope you don't get caught with 4 ounces of shampoo, because then you're really, you're finished then with that. All right, let me turn to something else. In 1961, President Eisenhower, as he left the White House, said that he warned the nation he said, beware of the military-industrial complex. This country has now practically in the last 7 years become the arms merchant. We sell everything all over the world to arms. You're on the transition team. If President Trump wins, is the Trump administration likely to do anything about the enormous amount of arms that we sell all over the world?
President Trump has experienced firsthand and knows directly the power of the military-industrial complex and the national security state. And of course, it has been weaponized against him in many ways. He saw a lot during his first term in office, and he's explained not only behind closed doors, but very publicly, how committed he is to rooting out this deep rot of corruption and abuse of power, the weaponization of these agencies, and actually cleaning house from top to bottom. He is someone, as Commander-in-Chief, who understands the cost of war. And unlike so many of these politicians in both parties, quite frankly, who are subservient to and partners with the military-industrial complex, he's not. He won't bend the knee. He recognizes how important it is to exhaust all diplomatic options and seeing war as a last resort.
Well, a lot of these generals, and I appreciate their service to the country, but they leave service and they go off and they work for, you know, these huge arms, you know, and I realize we need to protect ourselves, but boy, it's big money, this the military-industrial complex.
Yeah, that revolving door that you're talking about is a huge problem. I introduced legislation when I was in Congress to try to address it, but it wouldn't surprise you that Congress really hasn't taken any action on this, because just like you have those senior civilians in the DOD, high-ranking military officers many of whom are in charge of deciding which contracts the DoD pursues, then leave and go and get their payday. Members of Congress, unfortunately, do the same across many different industries. It's no wonder the American people don't have faith in the integrity of those who are leading these institutions, or that they are actually looking out for the best interests of the American people. This is the kind of corruption that needs to be rooted out, and I think President Trump has talked very clearly about his intention and commitment to doing that.
Well, the lobbying money is just breathtaking, the amount pouring into the city in that industry and as well as other. Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, thank you very much for joining me.
Always good to see you, Greta. Thank you.